Hey friends, welcome back to the Happy Homestead. I'm Amanda, and today we are going to fulfill the Make Bread 365 challenge for August. Yes, we are in September, but as you know, through all of August, I was really busy putting something up every single day through the Every Bit Counts challenge, and I just didn't have the chance to do the August bread challenge. And so for August, brioche. And so that's what we're gonna make today. I'm actually gonna be making this and filming this over, I think, a 3-day process. So last night, I'm doing a sourdough brioche, and I'm doing Farmhouse on Boone, Lisa Boone's recipe for sourdough brioche. So last night I fed my starter, so you can see it's active, it's ready to be used. And so then today we're gonna put our dough together. I'm gonna let it sit on the counter for 6 to 8 hours, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow, I think we're gonna shape it, put it back in the refrigerator, and then on the next day, we will bake. And I'm actually not gonna be making a brioche loaf. I'm going to be making brioche hamburger buns. I'm using her recipe, which is a loaf recipe, and I'll explain it tomorrow when I'm shaping what you would do if you wanted to make this actually into a brioche loaf of bread. Otherwise, you're gonna see me making these into hamburger buns. That just seems a little bit more useful for us. Before I continue, I want to, I don't know, you might not be able to tell, I wanna apologize because my kitchen is a disaster. I am cleaning, purging, and organizing today, and I took a break. I've been doing this now for 4 hours. I'm 4 hours in. I'm taking a break because I have got to get this brioche dough going, and I really wanted to show you this process. So in the mixer already, I have 3 cups of bread flour, half a cup of unbleached all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to be adding today a cup of sourdough starter, 4 eggs, a half a cup of milk, and then 2 sticks of butter at room temperature. Now I should tell you that this recipe from Lisa makes 2 loaves. So I'm going to imagine that I'm going to be making anywhere from 14 to 16 hamburger buns, in which case I will freeze a lot of them. But you can have this recipe if you don't want to make that many buns, or if you are making a loaf and you just want to make one. And so what we're gonna be doing is really just combining all of these ingredients in the mixer. I'm probably gonna use the dough hook attachment and knead it until smooth and glossy. It's gonna take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, but it will come together. So let's get everything in the mixer and start this process. Okay, so this has been going. So once you saw it come to a really good, I don't know, mass, dough ball, that's when I sped it up. I had it on the very lowest settings, and then I just went 1 more up. It looks great. It's come together well. It's smooth and glossy. I'm just gonna leave it in this bowl. And we're gonna cover it up. So I'm gonna leave this on the counter today. It's 2 o'clock right now. Before I go to bed, you wanna let it bulk ferment on the counter from anywhere to 6 to 8 hours. So before I go to bed, I'm just gonna put it in the fridge and then let it sit overnight in the refrigerator. And then tomorrow we'll come and shape our burger buns. That's it for today. I'll see you in a little bit. Well, it's the next day. We're back. It is approximately exactly 24 hours later. So I put our brioche dough in the refrigerator anywhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock last night. It is currently 2:15, so it's been in a decent amount of time. We're going to divide this up into 2, right? Because remember, this makes 2 loaves. So divide it into 2, and then we're going to divide that 2 into as equal as possible 8 balls. and I'm gonna make 8 buns, hamburger buns, and I actually decided today I'm gonna make also a loaf. So I'm gonna show you how to do it both ways. My kitchen is still a mess. I am not done with my purging, decluttering, organizing. I have a feeling this is gonna take a while. So there's stuff on the counter, just bear with me. The freeze dryer's going, and it's just life. If you find that your dough is just too cold, I would say kind of let it sit out for an hour or so until you can really start feeling like you can work with it. But each half is going to get divided into 8 pieces. So I'm just kind of rolling this out a little bit so I can really try to judge and get this as even as possible. All right, that was super simple, super fast. So I've got 16 of these pieces here. I have a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. That is gonna be for the hamburger buns. And then I just have my regular loaf pan also lined with parchment paper so that we can make the loaf too. And so I'm just gonna take each one of these pieces and kind of get it into as this is gonna sound, I just know how this sounds, as pretty of a ball as possible. I have a 7 and a 9-year-old at home, and so I am hearing all of the jokes. And so I try really hard with the word choice I make when I'm talking to them, and it's just bleeding over today. But we're gonna make the most perfect balls with these pieces and then put them in our pans. So for our hamburger buns, I'm gonna make them, you know, just flatten them a little bit so they have more of that kind of bun shape. And then they're gonna go on the parchment paper, and I'm gonna let them rise here on the counter for just a few hours. Now the directions say until they're doubled, which can be anywhere from 6 to 8 hours or overnight. So I am going to be baking these tomorrow, and I don't really want to leave them overnight on the counter. So I'm gonna let them double here on the counter for just, I don't know, as many hours as it takes. I can't imagine it's more than a few hours. And then tonight, I will put them, after they're doubled, I will put them in the refrigerator. I just don't want them to over ferment so much that they don't have that loft, right, with sourdough. The point of no return sometimes can happen really quick. And so I'm going to just put them in the fridge overnight, and then we'll bake them tomorrow. I think that's the beauty with sourdough. Sourdough, people always think, you know, it's delayed gratification, which it is. Instant yeast is instant gratification. But sourdough starter and natural yeast in the air, they're better for you. They just are. I'm not saying instant yeast is bad, but it can cause some food sensitivities and reactions within some people. And so doing things more with the fermentation for sourdough, it's just better for you overall. Okay, I've got my 8 hamburger buns. I'm just gonna set them over here on the counter. I will put a towel on them. I'm gonna do the same exact thing, except the balls are gonna go into the loaf pan and create a gorgeous loaf. Just like that. Also gonna cover this with a towel. Like I said, let it sit, double, and then put it in the fridge overnight, and we'll bake everything tomorrow. All right, we're back. So our brioche buns and our loaf have been sitting out now. Remember when I had said, for you not that long ago, for me yesterday, that I was gonna let them sit out double and then refrigerate them? I didn't do that, mainly because I just forgot. Life got really busy. I kept them on the counter all night. So have they doubled? I don't know, maybe. It's hard for me to tell, but I do think that they're perfectly fine to have left overnight. And then here's the loaf. I mean, it has gotten bigger. So I love this yellow color, by the way, just because of the eggs. So what I have here is an egg wash, and I have my oven preheating to 425 degrees. I am just gonna brush everything with the egg wash. That's it. And once my oven is preheated at 425, I'm going to put these both in for 25 minutes. Well, I'm extremely pleased at how those came out. They are so pretty. The egg wash helps give them that really brown golden color. So pretty though. I'm gonna let these cool. Once they're fully cooled, I'm going to slice the buns, I'll show you, and we'll put some burgers together for dinner tonight. All right, our bread is kind of cool. I took the loaf out of the pan. I just wanted to show you. How pretty is this? So pretty. My kids will be like, whoa. Where's the dense multi-grain loaf Mom always makes? All right, and then we've got our hamburger buns. They did get a little dark on the bottom. So I did it for 25 minutes at 425. I think if I were just doing the buns, I'd go down 5 minutes to 20, but the loaf at 25 minutes came out perfect. Beautiful. Smells so good. So whatever we don't use tonight, I am going to freeze, and I will freeze them just like this, cut in half. If I would prefer to freeze these as dinner rolls, I probably would just leave them whole, but because they're going to be hamburger buns, and that's how I intend to use them, even if it's beyond tonight, that's why I'm cutting them. But they have that really great kind of crispy texture on the outside with a good soft loft on the inside. These are really gorgeous. I very rarely say this, at least I feel like I rarely say this. This recipe is a winner. This is again from Lisa on Farmhouse on Boone, her sourdough brioche. My first time ever doing brioche or anything like it, and it was easy. It did take some advanced planning. So easy, very little hands-on time, and it's pretty impressive and pretty to look at. So we'll make some burgers tonight. I hope this was helpful for you. So we have now successfully completed the August challenge of Make Bread 365, because that was the brioche. And now we're caught up. So next for the month of September is ciabatta. That's what I'll be making next. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay well. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.